This is the network service of the NTA.
Is built by its citizens, and when you can boast a nationality, it confers honor and dignity on its citizens. Also, a nation also expects things from its citizens. Likewise, citizens also bestow responsibilities on their leaders. Sometimes what we ought to do for a country makes us responsible and responsive. Many would say, I'm a patriot, he's a patriot. It's easy to mouth the words. When you sing the anthem or you recite the pledge, do you have a full implication of what that entails? I'm proud to be a Nigerian, and my name is Thelma Obazi.
Arise, O co-patriots, Nigerians. Good morning, Nigeria calls you to obey. It's Saturday morning. You should be up and ready for the show today. For the next 2 hours, we will be interacting with ourselves. We will be talking about how much of a patriot are you. Yes, I know you would say that, well, what has Nigeria done for me? The roads are bad, people are corrupt, many things are not good. But yes, you know, drops of water, they say, make a mighty ocean. Have you been able, in your little corner, in your little quarter, contributed to being a patriot of this country? If you do your part, I do my part, trust me, this country will be one big home for us all. Well, my name is Cecil Egbele, and together we shall perform our patriotic duty.
On Weekend Deal today, a warm welcome to you. Weekend Deal.
All right, thank you very much. If you're just joining us, this is Weekend Deal coming to you from the studios of the NTA. We spoke at the beginning of the program, we talked, Thelma and I, about patriotism, and that would be the focus of our program today. Now, have you ever wondered how many developed nations get to attain the level they are? Have you wondered why we are still in the place we are? I have attended several events and I've seen people who say, I beg you, live in Nigeria, what can Nigeria even do for me? Our leaders are corrupt, our roads are bad. Oh yes, I agree. Yes, even for me too, I see all this. But if you do your part and I do my part, trust me, we will achieve even greater things. Well, just to set the tone, to set us in the mood for today's discussion, we have this background there, and Thelma went around and she got to sample opinion, she talked to people, she tried to x-ray what patriotism is all about. Let's enjoy this.
Let me tell you about the Nigeria Pledge. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal and honest.
Wow, that was good. Do you think reciting the national pledge make you a patriotic Nigerian?
Many Nigerians recite the pledge and sing the anthem. Does that make them patriots?
Some may add that eligible citizens should vote. They should visit national parks, stand still when the national anthem is on, and then the flag. Patriotism is a familiar word. Many even understand what it means. Are you a patriot? In our country, Nigeria, we boast of our numerical strength in millions. Our culture, our brilliance, our tenacity, our longevity, our cuisine. No one boasts of the few negative acts. We can't really. Some may say I'm not a terrorist, or an armed robber, or a fraudster. But ask yourself this. What do you do daily to upgrade your country? It can start from the simplest act.
You can be patriotic in your place of work by making sure that you do what is expected of you to do at all times. in the proper manner, in the proper way, and at the right time. So once you can do that, then you are being patriotic. You can never be selfish. You can never be biased. You are always very, very fair.
Being responsible to and for your family is patriotism. When elected to lead, keeping your promises is an act of patriotism. What about paying your taxes? Do you pay them willingly? Patriotism starts from the lowest level and is ingrained in the smallest acts.
There are small things that you do, and they mean a lot of things. Ordinarily, even if walking on the way and you see somebody not doing well on the highway, you tell him, excuse me, why not to do this? Or you see somebody driving recklessly. If you may I tell you here, please, sir, if you do this, you know, you will injure others, you make others uncomfortable on the road. You have been patriotic.
When every Nigerian is patriotic, great things happen. Government succeeds on diverse levels. There's growth. There is unity. There is innovation.
When everybody is patriotic, everybody will be happy. There will be growth. There will be development. There will be progress. So, you know, progress leads to development and leads to growth. Growth leads to development. And then once there is development, then everybody is happy. And then when everybody is happy, then people will now tend to be contented. Then there will be no cheating. There will be no misbehavior. Nobody will be feeling otherwise.
It can start with understanding exactly what you say and taking necessary action every time. God bless Nigeria.
Arise, O compatriots.
Isn't it fantastic to be able to say, I'm a Nigerian? You can also add, I'm a proud Nigerian. Being a Nigerian bestows upon me honor, dignity, and pride. Immense pride, really. Then our national colors, oh wow, the green, white, green.
You know, it just reminds me when I was in primary school. When we were at the primary and secondary school, when we were at the assembly hall, we are made to recite this anthem with all. At a point, we had some teachers who want you to listen to the words you say and try to actualize what you say. So we say that with all sense of pride and dignity. I really don't know how it works today, but I think
But it ought not to end at the recitation or at the singing.
Yeah, she tells us to try to practice it. Yeah. Try to live it.
I'm identifying with it now. Many of us can recite it, but perhaps sometimes we ought to do more individually and collectively.
I know.
We're moving to Kaduna now, and we're talking about respect for national symbols. There are national symbols that add to our pride and our dignity. How do we regard them? Let's hear the message from Kaduna.
Our camera captured an act of patriotism while this young man and woman turned off a running tap, despite it being ignored by passers-by.
Patriotism simply refers to love for one nation. Maybe someone have consciousness about his state or his nation, whereby he will always try to do what is possible or what he can in something that will bring about development, progress and success to his own state.
Yes, a lot of people are on the same page with these people. Patriotism is the only way forward to protect the nation's asset, for unborn generations to benefit from the seed planted by the leaders. Being patriotic goes beyond this. Respecting the leaders as well as a symbol of authorities speak volume of citizens' love for the nation. How patriotic are Nigerians?
According to the constitution of the land, stated that every good citizen should obey the rules and regulations of the state. Because it's among the duties of a good citizen to obey the duties and to respect the national symbol of the state, such as national anthem, the respect for the coat of arms, etc. and rest. So, such as the payment of taxes.
Like in the coat of arms, you have the Y, which stands for River Niger and River Benue, to make up Nigeria. And we have the green, there, which stands for agriculture. We have the white horse, which stands for strength.
Is to be a loyal citizen of a country or a community. That is someone that has the interest and the development of the state at hand, and someone that can also view the activities of the government and give a constructive criticism.
Nigeria and its resources is what makes us as people. The sooner we understand the magic of being patriotic, the better our nation.
That feature came to us from NTA Kaduna. Thank you very much. Still talking respect for national symbol and properties. It worries me when I see churn flags. Well, have you gone around town, Thelma? You've seen flags in some public buildings turn and nobody seemed, or dirty, and nobody seemed to even care. Or coat of arms in different colors, shapes.
They do care. But they are slow sometimes to respond, like watch the flags or change it.
Oh,
but
slow.
They care deeply.
They care deeply. You know, I like how optimistic you are. You speak. And I really hope they care. Well, I will have a guest to come on later and he will answer some of these questions. Well, you can start sending in your text messages to our numbers, which will show on your screens. Now, let's go on to talk about the national anthem. When you say the national anthem, what runs through your mind? Do you just recite it because you know it by heart? Well, this next feature coming to us here from Abuja takes a look at the respect for the Nigerian national anthem.
Fact that most of the developed countries of the world today attain greatness, partly as a result of the patriotism shown by their citizens. Nigeria is not left out of this list. But unfortunately, the level of patriotism of Nigerian citizens today is questionable. Instead of rhetoric animated pontifications on Nigeria's challenges, it is high time Nigerians began to prove their commitment to the good of the country through their private actions. Our words are important, but our actions are even more potent. A good example of such actions is the undying respect for our national symbols, especially the national anthem. Our current national anthem, with the initiating lines, "Arise, O compatriots," was composed by a one-time leader of the Nigerian police band, Mr. Benedict Odiaise, on May 14, 1978. Aside from the country's constitution, the national anthem is another piece meant to guide our actions and inactions.
The national anthem is probably one of the most popular, most widely known national symbols in Nigeria. I mean, there are others, but you know, they're playing the national anthem. You're supposed to stand at attention. You're not supposed to be moving about. It's a shame that you find people who even are highly placed. The national anthem is going on, they're on their phone. Nothing should be more important. Whoever it is you were talking to, even if you were talking to Mr. President, you should be able to say, "Excuse me, sir," and then call back immediately after. They're singing your national anthem. You stand to attention. I always feel very proud, you know, of when maybe you have international games and things like that, and a Nigerian has won something, and you know they're playing the anthem. You know, especially when Nigeria wins gold and the Nigerian flag is the highest one, and then the anthem comes on. I mean, even as I'm talking now, there's, you know, you just feel this rush. You can't help but feel proud.
In Nigeria today, not being able to recite the national anthem is considered an act of indiscipline, disloyalty and disrespect to the national sovereignty, an offense worthy enough to be charged with treason. Hence, the national anthem is being taught and recited every morning in schools to instill the spirit of patriotism in our children and also to pass on the culture of national consciousness. Showing respect to our national anthem is the highest level of patriotism because it embodies the nation's values and traditions, depicting history and unifying the nation.
Many thanks to NTA Channel 5 Abuja for that package, talking about the respect for the national anthem. We've come to learn in the course of being Nigerians and growing up in this country and traversing other countries in the world that when you love something, you ought to respect it and treat it with dignity. And respect, often we say, is reciprocal, or it ought to be. We're talking more about patriotism, and we have some guests who will enlighten us further. They will tell us what is happening, what ought to happen, and most precisely, the best way forward. Please join me to welcome, from the National Orientation Agency, Samuel So. He's the Director of Planning, Research and Strategy. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Nigerians.
And he's not alone. We have a beautiful lady, proudly adorned in Nigerian colors. The green, white, green. Bisayo Akinadeju.
Thank you.
She's the coordinator and founder of Project One Nigeria.
Thank you.
Quickly fast, I know Project One Nigeria may not be a familiar name or phrase for many Nigerians, but for you to be talking to us today about patriotism, you must be very adept at promoting our great country, Nigeria.
Okay,
why and how do you do that?
Okay, my name is Bisayo Akinadeju, like you said, and I always try to introduce myself this way. I tell everybody wherever I go, I say my name is Bisayo Akinadeju and I'm a Nigerian. Now, I make it a phrase that everybody gets used to it because I'm proud of where I'm from. And not just that I'm proud of where I'm from, I took it upon myself to start an organization that promotes that so that everybody, wherever you are, either you're home or abroad, you can be proud of who you are. We call it the power of your identity and the power of location. Now, if you're going to talk about Project One, basically what we do is promote patriotism in Nigerians, self-reliance and integrity. We have no other place to call home but this country. And if you're not proud of where we're from, if you're not proud of who we are, we have actually just defeated ourselves. So by being proud of being a Nigerian, it's actually doing yourself a favor, at the same time promoting the goods of the land, which in eventuality will be the best thing that could happen to the country. So Project One is out there instilling in the Nigerian minds the right to be patriotic, the understanding of what it means to be patriotic, the love for nation, the love for the right values, and the love that develops the nation generally.
Yeah, I can assure you there is a time when almost all Nigerians are patriotic when we're playing football. When Super Eagles are playing football. And supporting, yeah. So you see all Nigerians, when the national anthem is on, everybody's proudly wearing our colors and all that. Mr. NOA, the Director of Planning, Research and Strategy of the NOA, trust me, you have a tough job. The NOA has a tough job to convince the Nigerians why we must be patriotic. You need to reorientate our minds. Now, oftentimes we see many of our symbols. I don't know if you watched one of the last feature where we talked about the respect for our national symbols, anthem and all that. I don't know if you agree with me, like many others, that these have many times been abused. How are you managing?
Thank you very much. The work of the National Orientation Agency essentially is to change the attitude of Nigerians, which you know is not a one-day affair. We have to be persuasive. It is not like in the building construction industry where you say this year you have done so X number of bridges or so. So we are carrying out the campaign to enlighten Nigerians to be patriotic, and for you to be patriotic, you first of all love the symbols or the paraphernalia of state that are associated with your country. These are the national anthem, which is a patriotic song, the coat of arms, which depicts the state power, and you have the pledge, which is also a contract between the citizens and Nigeria state. you can go on. We have the currency of a nation, which is not supposed to be abused. The Constitution, which has to be upheld at all times, its provision. The passport, our white green passport, which is also very, very, very beautiful, needs to be handled with care. And when you hold it, you have to be proud of it. Then you can go on the national ID card. We have so many national symbols. These are the first step for you to exhibit your patriotism. From there, you can now move on. What does a patriot need to do to its own country? And mind you, patriotism it does not mean that your country must do something to you before you be patriotic. It has no way. You have just to be patriotic to your country. Because the golden rule of patriotism is that you should love your country more than you love yourself.
Okay, thank you, Mr. So. Maybe we'll hold it on that, hold your thought on that note. Love your country more than you love yourself. We often read about, think not of what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Now you tell me, founder, project coordinator, what can we as citizens, many of us may never hold elective positions or work in government, but individually, they say it should come from the heart. We have a role and a responsibility. What ought we to do at our different levels to celebrate and project Nigeria in the best light possible?
Thank you for that question, but let me start by saying that I will, from relationship or relating with people on the street, you understand that you can not easily compel patriotism. Now, the truth is, if you have gone through a whole lot of things in this country, especially as we're talking about Nigeria in this current discussion, you probably want to ask yourself, why should I love the country more than I love myself? When it appears that the country does not even care about me, or has not even paid attention to what goes on with me. If you go out on the street, you see people without shelter, people without adequate health facilities, and you're telling them, give your life for Nigeria. I always say, when we started Project One, I started by wearing this Nigerian muffler around. And that was because before my first foreign international trip, I was told that when you hold a Nigerian green passport, if they're checking someone for 2 minutes, once you appear with a Nigerian passport, you go through an unnecessary scrutiny. So I told myself, I'm not going to let you see my green passport before you judge me. From that queue on the line, I'm going to put a green, white, green. So from a distance, you know a Nigerian is coming. And then be ready to welcome me. I know I'm not a bad person and I'm going to represent my country well. And that's how I started. But then the reactions I got abroad was very different. When everybody see the green, white, green, they're like, oh, you're from Nigeria. Oh, Nigeria. And they're happy. And they're happy. They're excited to meet Nigerians. And that changed a bit of how even we at home perceive Nigeria. People over there are proud of us. They look at us like, oh, Nigerians, intelligent people, smart people, even though sometimes it could be in the negative sense. But then they see Nigerians as people who are resilient, people who are strong. And then I asked myself, do we also see ourselves as this way? Do we see ourselves as strong? Do we see ourselves as united as we ought to be? When people are afraid, in quote, of Nigerians, do we even realize we exhume some form of power outside there? So I said, I need to let people know about these things. And I say something, sometimes really, this patriotism, as we talk about, and what could make people patriotic, could be something so little that we do. I said something, I also had an experience, another experience that I would share. In 2017, from where I work, I had to go for a training. I had postponed my training initially before then, the one before, because I got married a year before. The next year I said, oh, I was pregnant. And I said, no, if I had to postpone my travel again, because we go for training at the end of the year, I said I have to go for the the training and at the same time have my child. Now I'm someone who promote Nigeria. I love everything Nigeria. You see my green, white, green in my office.
All, just like we all do here.
I put my flag in my office and all that. And then when they told me at the general hospital, they said bring only the clothes that your baby will take home. And then when they presented my baby to me after birth, he was wrapped in that blanket with the American color. And my brain goes, wow, what a way to welcome an American child, wrapped in the American color. And then, of course, just the normal me, I put my muffler around the baby, took a picture. Even though he's born in America, I'm still trying to say he's a Nigerian. But then I came back home and I said, these are the little things we need to start doing right from, and that's what we do at Project One. right from the cradle. We go to clothe babies in their Nigerian clothes, just to let them know that you're welcome.
It ought to start from the cradle.
Yeah, so it kinds of grow with you. For some of us that are patriotic today, it probably didn't start from the reality of what is on ground. It starts from that primary school you talked about earlier.
I like the fact that you actually relate with the people. You know, you relate with them and try to build that patriotic spirit from amongst the people at the grassroots. Well, you can be part of this discussion by sending your messages on our numbers showing on your screen about now. I'll still come back to you.
But just before you talk with Adedu from Noah, let me just take this. Perhaps it will set another angle that we can focus on. They said that, somebody is saying here that Weekend Deal, you are doing a good job, but what ought the country to do for its citizens? We said earlier, we have a responsibility, and maybe majorly we have focused on our responsibility. Somebody is saying now, just like you were saying earlier, shouldn't it be reciprocal? In other words, he's asking, are we getting what we ought to get from the helm?
The person is trying to counter the talk of, do not think of what your country can do for you, what you can do for your country. So you want to take that very quickly before I ask my next question?
Yeah, thank you. As I said earlier on, patriotism has no condition attached to it. So we citizens should know that if we are facing any challenge, it is by our own doing. It is not Nigeria. And if we talk about unemployment, a patriot looks forward to the economy of his country. He goes about creating avenues to have employment opportunities for the citizens. A patriot ensures that the economy of his country booms. He does all those things. So it is not only government, and there is no country in the world where government does everything by providing jobs. Government only provides an environment for everything to strive. So if any citizen, I'm sorry to say, says that because the country is not doing enough for the citizens to be patriotic, it is not true. It's not correct. It's not correct. We can change the system. We, the citizens. I watched one this in there you showed, where a lady was passing and the tap was running, and she went and turned it off. Does it mean the country must do something to her before she would do that?
Okay. Now, you actually said, let's think of what we can do for our country rather than what our country can do for us. That may be a little ambiguous, yeah. But let us come down to the very little things. In my office, in my home, you've just talked about the tap story you saw there. What are those very little things? Let's not make it one very big thing that just makes us feel like, I can't do anything, you know. Just tell us some of those little things. You reorientate us. I think she's told us a little.
Yeah, thank you. Some of the issues which a patriotic Nigerian needs to do. Number one, the image of your country. How do you promote the image of your country within and outside? I always give this example of a hotel where if the management of the hotel wants to promote the hotel, it is a front view that is even used, and then the facilities within the hotel. But have you ever gone to the back of the hotel where you will receive deliveries and other, as they call it, staff gate? If you go there, it's a different ball game. But you will never see any hotel advertising the back of it and this and that. So a patriotic Nigerian supposed to promote the image of the country positively at all times. Even in journalism, it has to be a patriotic journalism. You have the image of your country at heart while reporting.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. Well, this discussion has not ended. The media is with you, NTA is with you. We will learn more, and I like the angle you are going towards. We all have a responsibility. We should take it seriously. But for some, they may need a more in-depth understanding. Let's go to Maiduguri. We've all heard the trending story. The governor met a teacher in school who was there as early as 6 a.m. Without doubt.
Devotion to one's country is a responsibility every government of any country expects from its people. Mazi, who is an indigene of Abia State and a level 12 teacher in Shehu Sanda Karimi 2 Primary School, Maiduguri, has proven herself to be a patriotic citizen to the country. Mazi, who has always reported to the school around 6:30 a.m. in her 31 years of service, was discovered alone by the governor when he paid a visit to the school.
I'm very happy. I really thank God for what I did not expect. And as the governor visited, Prophet Governor Umaru, Babagana Umaru Salam, as he visited, he saw me. I didn't expect it, but as he come and rewarded me, I'm praying back that God Almighty will reward him. Let God keep him. Let God, nothing will happen to him. No weapon that will function against him will prosper. And God will help him to finish what he has started.
The governor was impressed by her commitment to work, and he rewarded her with a cash gift of 100,000 naira and also recommended her for an immediate promotion to the rank of assistant headmistress.
The recent appointment of Obigeri Mazi, 1 class 1 teacher, is in fact it lifted the school to a certain standard. The school became celebrity of this year, 2020. She is punctual. Even before the coming of the governor, she used to come first in the morning. She is dedicated. She is now holding her recent appointment of His Excellency
the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umar Azalam, has paid an official visit to one of my schools as early as 6:30. Fortunate enough, he met a teacher, a dedicated teacher to a corps, who always happened to be at the school both morning and afternoon. Teachers were role model. As such, we need to be emulated. We have to set first. We lead while other workers follows.
We need a lot of them. This is why we are always encouraging teachers to see this kind of enthusiasm in them. In the case of the woman teacher who was there, we wanted to give her position of headmaster, if not because of her qualification NCE. We normally give headmasters, principals to those with degree. In the case of her, that elevation to assistant headmaster suffice. We would ask all the teachers to copy her. Let them show their own enthusiasm. There is no way you can say you are a teacher, you are collecting salary, and then you refuse to go to school. This is why we would continue to now cross-mark the teachers.
It is generally believed that with the presence of these salient characteristics in any country, no matter how less endowed in terms of natural resources there might be, such country would develop consistently, peacefully and collectively in all ramifications.
Wow, wow, wow. I am just so happy for her. Patriotism being rewarded. You know, far away where she is, no tribal bias, nothing. She does her duty, and the governor just pays a sudden visit and rewards her. I mean, and that's just beautiful. Now, let's talk about patriotism being rewarded. I know it is a duty, but getting to see this woman in faraway Maiduguri being rewarded unexpectedly, what do you have to say?
I commend her action, and the National Orientation Agency has done a lot in this direction. Yes, let me just run down the memory line. We reached out to Blessing, the lady at the Murtala Muhammad Airport.
Oh, the airport.
Yes, yes. We reached out to her. We also reached out to Abdullahi, who went on Hajj and found money up to 500,000 and returned it from Nasarawa State. We reached out to a young man some years ago who laid down his life to rescue a child that was in the building that was burning.
Wow, okay.
We also reached out to taxi drivers who found money left in their vehicles and then returned.
Okay, so you've been carrying out rewards exercises like this?
Exactly, but we don't have the luxury of coming to the media to show them this and that. But in our own way, we do it continuously. Anytime we hear act of patriotism being displayed, we reached out to such an individual.
Project One, do you do stuff like that too?
There are so many.
Okay,
very briefly.
Very well. We've been working with the National Orientation Agency, generally in all our programs, because like you said, patriotism has to do with each and every one of us. When we promote the Nigerian brand, what we're trying to say is this country is yours. Nigeria is as good as just that one citizen. The full name of Project One is One Nigerian Citizenship Appreciation Initiative. And in 2017, we brought the national flag designer. Even though he has designed the flag many years ago, we brought him to Abuja, gave him presidential treatment, put him on a monthly stipend for 12 months, just to also challenge the young students that whatever you do for this country is not forgotten. Even though government is appreciating it, individuals as well, sometimes, because the government cannot do everything. Like someone would say, government is you and I. We may have the government in office and in position, but in your home, in your school, in your office, in your class, you're a government unto yourself. And the general perception that you put out there would eventually become what the national perception of Nigeria is. And in 2018, the national
I need to ask you just a minute to hold that thought.
Okay.
We have just 1 minute left, and we have a message I want you to hear. Even though you explained, I guess the viewer did not fully comprehend. They said you are promoting a Nigerian brand. You boast about being a proud Nigerian, but you went abroad to have your baby. How does that represent being a Nigerian?
So maybe it's always good to always clarify, because I always get that kickback, because I know a lot of Nigerians.
You said it, so I want to just tell
But for me, it's very difficult to explain it. But like I said, 2016 I got married, and I couldn't go for my annual training. 2017 I was pregnant, because we always have training September and October in my office. And my husband was like, no, you're not going to miss it because of that. Now, I do not even condemn anybody that travels out for whatever reasons. We need to understand, I'm not asking Nigerians to be local champions. In fact, go around the world, survey, and bring things you've learned. Now, over 1,000 Nigerian babies had been clothed with brands from Nigerian products by myself funding that came from an initiative I saw when I traveled. So sometimes when you go out, you're not just going out for fun. Go outside the country, learn something, bring it back to your country. If you stay here, you just become a local champion because you've not experienced what happens outside.
When you traverse the world, it's a plus.
It is.
But you must take that pride in your Nigerianness, showcase the best of our brand to the world, and take the little that we need to ingrain in our ways to make us richer and more vibrant. But finally, before we go, someone is taking pride in all the discussions. They like what you're saying. Director's strategy of NOA. They say but the NOA needs to do a bit more, not just in terms of rebranding. You are here telling them many things they've not heard, but you need to sensitize Nigerians more. They need to feel more of the NOA nationwide. They commend us for this topic. They commend us for the different angles. And they say, God indeed bless Nigeria. And you both for the different steps you are taking to ensure that Nigeria remains the proud, indivisible country that we already are.
All right. Let's just you have just 30 seconds to say one last word. Let's go.
My appeal to Nigerians is that we have to be patriotic. Let us love our country. Forget about whatever government has not done this or has not done. We will change the system. If you are patriotic, she is patriotic, I'm patriotic. We'll change the system. And join the National Orientation in campaign. We have literature, National Symbols Handbook, the National Anthem, and so many other things. But we cannot be everywhere. We appeal to the media to join hands with the National Orientation Agency and other NGOs to join hands with us so that Nigerians can be sensitized in this direction. And let us pray for our country and our leaders all the time.
Last word.
Thank you, sir.
So I would say that to build Nigeria is the responsibility of every one of us. Please be proud of who you are, be proud of where you're from, either your home or abroad. Contribute in any little quota. If I can take this up and have affected quite a number of people, imagine if we keep doing it. That's why we call it Project One. One person matter, and one person listening to us also matter. Please take this campaign everywhere. Say, be proud of who you are, be proud of where you're from, and eventually the narrative will change, and we would really eventually have more patriotic Nigerians in everywhere and every sphere.
All right, thank you very much, Bisayo Akinadeji, the founder, Project One Nigeria Initiative. Well, we will do our best, and I believe many of us watching will do our best to promote Nigeria. Dr. Samuel Soho, Director of Planning, Research and Strategy of the NOA. We look forward to seeing the NOA do a little more, be out there, a little more publicity on TV and social media. It just may help a bit. All right, the program is still Weekend Deal. If you're just joining us, you're right on time for the rest of the program. We'll be back right after this break. Thing to make us laugh. These videos trended during the week, and I guess a couple of us saw them on our social media handles. Thank you very much for that trending videos. Well, on Weekend Deal today, if you just join us, we're talking patriotism. How much of a patriot are you? We had two guests in the studio from NOA and from Project One, and we talked patriotism, how we can, from our own level, be patriot. And many of you have sent in messages. Thank you very much. So many messages, but majorly many people are asking why we need our leaders to be patriotic also, even as we make our efforts to be, which is good. You know, we need to do our part so that we can, with all sense of honesty, criticize another person who is not being patriotic. So as much as possible, let's do our best. I want to thank you all for your many messages, and I see that we have many Nigerians here who are actually patriotic, who are actually promoting Nigeria. Now, while our guest from the NOA was talking earlier, he talked about one of the ways we can be patriotic and respect our national symbols and signs is how well do we get to respect and manage our currency. Well, that brings us to, we're going to travel now to Lagos, NTA Channel 10 in Lagos, where our correspondents took a look at the abuse of Nigerian currency as an act of patriotism. Do you abuse our currency? Well, the abuse of Nigeria's currency has been an act of unpatriotism. Do you abuse our currency? Well, these reports will let you know if you are guilty or not.
Feeling of love and pride for one's homeland, more than any other, goes beyond stopping to sing the national anthem. Patriotism is showing love and concern for one's country. Every nation expects devotion from its citizens, no matter how less endowed it is in terms of natural resources. Some of the ways of showing patriotism to the country are by investing properly in the economy of our nation through patronage in our locally made products, being law-abiding wherever you are, honoring the national flag, as well as appropriately handling Nigerians' currency. Naira abuse has grown into a serious problem in the country, and the bad practice seems to know no bounds. It appears that the phenomenon occurs among all segments of the society.
For the fact that I'm actually abusing Naira, let me show you proof. Can you see this? That is very wrong. Even the market people say, the market women, they do abuse Naira, putting cash in their place and the rest.
For example, like the conductors now, when you give them money, the way they do the money, it's not nice. They didn't do it well. And another case, like the way some people save their money, they put it inside colos. They don't take colo, they excuse it, fold it to put it inside. It's not good that way.
You go to the market to buy meat, and then you see this meat seller, you know, you just tell the person, okay, sell me this meat. The person just, after cutting the meat, still with the remains, like the blood in the hand and everything, the person will just collect the money, give you change, you know, the money, the stains, and also people write on the notes.
When you go to parties, people, instead of putting the money inside envelopes and giving it to whomever they want to give it to, they spray the money gets spread on the floor, gets torn, and it's different ways.
Despite Despite awareness campaigns by the Central Bank of Nigeria on how to handle Naira notes properly, people still seem to be careless in the handling of legal tender.
The way people are abusing our Naira notes is very, very appalling, even because of a lack of sensitization. I won't tell you lies. I was also in that show doing the same thing, but since I've been seeing the jingles on television, I've stopped. And I've even advised people, I've enlightened some people, especially those who are working with me, not to abuse our Naira notes again.
The CBN cautions every Nigerian against abusing the Naira notes, warning that anyone caught would risk imprisonment for a term not less than 6 months or to a fine not less than 50,000 or both.
Nigeria needs Nigerians to support, preserve our greatness and have absolute passion for her so that it can attain the height of flawless domain craved for and maintain our progress among the nations of the world.
You media people too have a role to play by bringing out jingles to enlighten our people not to abuse Naira notes again.
The CBN constantly sensitizes the general public, politicians and leaders throughout public enlightenment campaigns through the printing and electronic media on how to properly handle the Naira. Further sensitization campaigns are arranged to engage politicians, leaders, and other respected elders to make them change champions of the bank's clean notes policy.
Nigerians need to be more careful in the handling of Naira notes and treat everything Nigerian with more respect and dignity, because Nigeria is the only country that we can truly call our own.
Indeed, Nigeria is the only country we can call our own. Earlier, talking about being a proud Nigerian, and Cecil began singing national anthem, singing the national anthem and reciting the national pledge. But Cecil, you know that singing the anthem or reciting the pledge alone doesn't make you a patriot.
Yeah, it doesn't make you a patriot, but there is power in repetition. When you keep repeating something, after a while, even you, in all honesty, will start digesting the words. And, you know, while the NOA man was leaving, I quickly asked him the question, have you been to an event where people recite the second stanza of the national prayer, and at the end you hear people say, to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign? Some people say to build a nation where peace and justice reign. So there's always been that. So from the NOA, they've just said that to build a nation where peace and justice reign. So
that's because we are in the media, but I heard about that like 3-4 years ago. We dropped the rain, we dropped the shall. And he said they want to make it a present thing, a continuous thing. So it's not shall, it should be
rain.
Now and always. We just talked about the abuse of the currency. That's what we use to purchase products and services. We ought to respect it, shouldn't we?
True.
If you respect it as an earner, what else ought you to do? You ought to pay your taxes. Do you pay your taxes?
Yes, I pay my taxes.
NTR Sabah will tell us more about paying of taxes. Let's see this.
All compatriots, Nigeria's call obey. This is the first line of the first standards of the country's national anthem and aptly sums up the need for everyone to be patriotic. This patriotic call to duty provides the necessary platform for the development and growth of the country through responsibilities expected even from the citizens in turn. One of such responsibilities of a patriotic citizen, therefore, is due payment of his or her taxes appropriately.
I'm a student, I don't pay tax.
So if you are working, will you be paying tax?
Yes.
No.
Why don't you pay tax?
I'm not doing any government work.
A salary earner is mandatory and it's automatic that my tax is being deducted at source.
I pay tax as a government official. I pay tax in my company. And as a good citizen, it is important that you pay your tax as at when due, not just paying tax at any time.
The importance of payment of taxes by a country's citizens cannot be overemphasized, as it is through this that provide platform for growth. Many developed economies of the world thrive through tax payments by their citizens. Sadly though, this cannot be said of many developing countries of the world, including Nigeria, as most citizens are not well enlightened enough about the benefits and dividends of tax payments. This is as a result of the fact that many people simply pay lip service to the issues of patriotism which the founding fathers of the nation built and left a legacy.
You've been in Asaba and in Delta State, you have seen the various projects that are being undertaken by the government. Of course, these are the little so far they have gotten from tax collection.
We are happy with what we are seeing. The taxpayer money, which also include my money, is being used judiciously. We are happy with the roads we see. We are happy with the school, the modern schools our children now go to. We are happy with the hospitals. And we are happy with empowerment programs that are going on.
When you pay your tax, you are helping the economy. How, if not for the oil boom period, how will the government be able to finance this gigantic project you are seeing everywhere? So people, when you pay tax, we can consider you as a patriotic citizen.
Reciting the country's national anthem and the pledge is simply not enough to lay claim to being patriotic. Patriotism should be a national duty and a resolve to love one's fatherland in service, sacrifice, and dedication to her cause to foster and engender nation building.
Yes, it's the one you say people. Some people are actually paying, while some people are not paying. Now, first of all, every contribution or demand to pay tax, it is unctioned by the law. These things cannot fly into the state. They require money. So this money cannot come apart from the oil and non-oil taxes. So if we want to develop the state very well, we need to do, it's a civil responsibility. We must of a necessity obey the law to be called good citizens by paying our taxes.
Tax evasion on the payments and outright non-payments of taxes by citizens simply amounts to a disservice to fatherland. The government and its parts at various levels must synergize efforts to eliminate such arts as multiple taxations, overpayments, and other shortcomings that dissuade and discourage citizens from paying their taxes.
Good to know. We are all learning the different ways we can be patriots. Paying your tax is one of it. Earlier we saw the respect for our national sign, symbol, our currency. These are many ways we can be patriotic. And many of you may be asking, but what are those little things? Now you know. And we still have so many of your mails coming in. Thank you very much. Philip from Yola, he says, for patriotism to make sense, it must be preceded by nationalism. That is a love for one's country. One must love before upholding the interest of what is loved. That means we must all love our country despite all our shortcomings in different facets of life. Thank you very much, Philip. I like that words of encouragement. While from Jalingo, we have Cletus Gabriel from Mile 6 in Jalingo. He says, I believe the lackadaisical attitude towards our national anthem and the pledge is the major problems we Nigerians are facing, because it is an oath and a prayer to ourselves and our nation. If this is respected, then our country will be okay. We have many of such encouraging messages here. I want to thank you very much for sending in this message.
The idea, in the essence of the program, is to not just to enlighten, to encourage, and to even say, well done.
Yes, I would even like to have you send in messages. I would even like to have you send in words on how you have been a patriot in your way. I would like to see a message. You tell me what you have done to be a patriot in your own way. If you share yours, then somehow we can go.
Other people will get inspired.
Other people will get inspired to do more. Now, another way we can also be patriotic is promoting Made in Nigeria. Like you can
Just
see
like
our
what?
dresses.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. These are proudly made in Nigeria. So in your different ways, in your area, your locality, in buying your leathers, in buying your clothing, and in many other things you do, you should think about promoting made in Nigeria, promote locally made. All right, this next feature coming from NTA Sokoto takes a look at promoting made in Nigeria.
A grocery corner of market in Sokoto, but foreign products dominate transactions even where there are local substitutes. Some people patronize imported goods that have little relevance to Nigeria's economy. Imported goods are considered superior in quality by some people, and that affects patronage of local goods.
I think that some of the products that we have, maybe it's not enough for them, or it's not quality the way they like.
They don't tend to have quality. Now I give you an example. I was discussing with a friend yesterday who sent to buy pig milk. Now the pig milk we are manufacturing in the country is very watery and tasteless. Now I even wonder why the pig company, the international company, allowed Nigerian company to be manufacturing this type of milk in the name of in its trademark, because that amounts to killing the image of that company.
Salisu Salihu Sokoto is a skillful artist whose products such as painting and banners were patronized in the past, but the advent of imported Islamic arts poses competition to his products. Salisu now resort to other jobs to survive.
The Nigerian producers, they not have resources and money to provide the quality material. Even some African countries, they have materials and time and resources to produce quality material.
Nigerians tend to have the tendency of get rich quick. You don't produce quality product, but you want to get profit. Already we have sermons. You have these imams and the pastors in the churches. They preach us. They preach, be good, don't cheat, don't do that. And you have this social mobilization, sensitizing people. I don't think all this will work. It is the institutions and the legal instruments, the laws and regulations that we have that can be used to enforce sanity. Now I give you the example. You have this standard organization, standard product organization or something like that. We have all the institutions and the legal and the rules and regulations of enforcement. The standard organization should ensure that any product that is made and that comes to the market is properly screened, standardized, or refused outlet. With this, then Nigerians will be forced to be producing standard quality products, just as we are being forced to be cleaning our environment.
Investment by government or individual will help improve the standard of local products and promote patronage.
It's a fantastic experience. We're learning, we're enlightening, we're promoting, we're celebrating, all because we're proud to be called Nigerians. It's a green, white, green event, totally. Cecil, I smiled at you. It's a green, white, green event. That's Nigeria's colors.
Oh, yes, it is. It is. And thank you very much for that. All right, on Weekend Deal today, we have been talking patriotism of the Nigerian spirit. Patriotism inspires us, it unites us, it fills our heart with pride and confidence, and sometimes it brings tears to your eyes. Do you feel any of this? Well, when you recite the anthem or the pledge or see any of our national signs and symbols, please, in your own way, do not let the labors of our heroes past be in vain. My name is Cecil Egbele. I have another patriotic duty to do right after now. Bye-bye.
My name is Thelma Obaza. Have a wonderful day. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.